All right, it's recording.
What's going on, guys? This is a Distance Theory podcast. Man, it's been a while since we've done this, but hopefully I still remember the intro. But um this is a Distance Theory podcast. I'm Garrett Ricardo with my co-host Ryan Mizzozo. And all I can say is we're back.
Yeah, we took a we took a year off. We needed that
Yeah.
year off to figure
Mm,
out life and stuff.
yeah. It
But
was longer than COVID, almost
yeah,
to it.
yeah, damn, it's really been that long. Um,
So we're just gonna take this podcast to kind of just fill you guys in on first off where we've been, where I've been, because I wasn't on the last podcast um for multiple reasons. But yeah, so we'll just I guess we'll just get started. Ryan, you want to explain where you've been?
so I think the last time I was on, I was at Nova High School. And then I ended up leaving that high school to go to another high school called Fort Lauderdale High School for a couple months, and then my biggest goal for coaching is to be a college coach, and I got lucky enough to get the opportunity to coach at St. Thomas University, which is a school in Miami. Um, and I've been coaching there for the past since January. I also started coaching my own AAU track team, which that's pretty interesting. Coaching elementary kids, got to coach an AAU 1500. I think it's national champion. I think it's right,
Yeah, he's a
national
national
champion.
champion.
Um, and I also kind of been doing basically like private coaching with some of the high school kids because I'm not allowed to coach high school and coach college at the same time, but I can do like private coaching. So that's what I've been kind of doing. So I've just been coaching, morning, afternoon, night. Um, During track season, I probably had a track meet every single week from January to the state meet, and yeah, so it's been an eventful past 5 6 months, but I feel really grateful and blessed to have the opportunity to coach at a NAIA level.
Yeah, yeah. Going back to like Ryan's AAU kid, he's very good. Like this kid is gonna be an animal. He's what, in fifth grade now, and
He's going to fifth, yeah.
he's going into fifth grade, and he runs like he's broken five in the 1500 already. So that's pretty major.
He went 10:32 last week in the 3K. So
Yeah, and I mean, there's like a lot. That's like what like the like lower end of high school kids are coming into. Like shit, some kids like they don't even run a 10:32 3K by their senior year, but
yeah,
this kid's doing that at 10 years old. So I mean,
we have nationals like in a couple of weeks, so I'll be in. I think it's either South or North Carolina, so that should be kind of
for JOs.
yeah.
Mm.
So that should be fun.
Oh yeah, you'll probably be running at North Carolina A&T.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah, it's
So
a nice track. Good venue.
um, he's trying to go back to back, so that should be interesting.
Yeah, and for those of you guys don't know also, so Ryan was started coaching St. Thomas and kind of is trying to scrape together that program and put together something special. Um it's very hard, ignore that. Wait real quick.
He edit that.
Um anyways, so Ryan is trying to put together a nice little program over there in at St. Thomas University, which obviously it's very hard to put together a good program at that level just because there's no scholarship money and you can't really give a full scholarship at all. Even if you had like a 150 kid, at least legally, you can't give them a full scholarship.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, when I first heard it, I thought Saint it was just St. Thomas, and then I talked to other NIA coaches, and they're like, "There's not one kid on that I coach that gets a full scholarship." I mean, you can if you do it like academically and like the Pell Grant and FAFSA, like combine all that. But as in like a full athletic scholarship, St.
Super
Thomas,
complicated to
yeah,
do. Yeah.
there's pretty much no way of doing it. So
Yeah. And that's what makes it even harder than even those small D1 schools that aren't fully funded on the men's side. Um, so it's rough. Like I think honestly, I think NAIA level is probably the hardest to build a great program at. Like D2, you have a lot of flexibility. Even D3 people, like D3 coaches have um a lot more than NAIA coaches like have to work with. On top of everything, Ryan isn't the head coach, so he's not really exactly in charge of who gets what scholarship. So
Yeah, and then I mean, like I've been lucky at St. Thomas to allow me to coach and do like whatever I want. I'm the boys or men and women's cross country and track coach. But yeah, when you just said like the scholarship money, I have no control over, which is frustrating because it's just tough to recruit kids, especially when kids feel like they deserve more money, or when the Division 2 or like you said, some of those other schools offer more money. But um, I understand it's going to take time. It's not going to be a 1 year thing to turn the program around. But I think we've both been pretty big. It's just we won't like. I want to see, and talking to other high school coaches too. I want to see, at least in South Florida or like Orlando down. I want to see more like better distance programs. And hopefully I can do that with St. Thomas.
yeah, and he's Ryan's definitely been working and trying to adapt, I'd say, with all his runners and get them to buy into the program, and but also not have it to where kids don't want to run, because a lot of kids, like, especially if they're not like necessarily completely bought into a program, they're not going to want to like do mileage and do the boring stuff that just, it's just like clocking into work and then clocking out basically. So um but yeah, he's done a good job. So going to me now, I've been away for much longer than he has. We actually had one of his one of Ryan's athletes fill in for me on a podcast recently.
Rough. That was rough.
Yeah. Um
Zach, you did a bad job.
but which we'll get him as an actual
Yes.
yeah, we'll get him on the podcast soon. So um and do it the right way with the actual host of the podcast. Very much my fault, but I've gone through a lot the past year, like a lot, like roller coaster up and down with just life, running, everything. So much so to the point that I almost quit running back in, I want to say probably like November-ish. Um Rule number one, guys, always set boundaries. Don't let girls come into your life and ruin them. And I wouldn't say ruin them, but uh college athletes know, like, if you guys listen to this, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's really hard to balance everything out. And being in a relationship with somebody is definitely one of those things that's like, it's like working a full-time job basically. Um Especially if you're in it with the wrong person. And I found that out the hard way, but um
Especially when it's a long distance.
yeah, that
Always at
was
the
the other.
same school.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the other thing. So that's just kind of where I've been. And I was just, so I really didn't run much at all last summer, and all my teammates know that. Um but basically I came in, and I don't know why I was expecting anything different. I didn't run, I didn't do anything. I really wasn't that active. I wasn't even cross training, which is the least I could have done. And I came into the year pretty damn slow, honestly. And I got very humbled. Track is a very humbling sport. And if you don't put in the work, it shows. And it definitely showed, because I was second to last on my team at our cross country opener. And it's not to say that I mean, honestly, for the shape that I was in, I ran okay, because like I said, I didn't run at all. And I just came in trying to cram fitness, like I was cramming for a test, and well, that usually ends up one or two ways. You get injured or you get injured, and I got injured, obviously. So it was rough. I mean, I had a couple showings where it was definitely promising. I came like fourth or fifth at, it was a smaller cross country meet at Winthrop, but I was very mentally strong, and it just kind of showed me that even though I might not be in the best physical fitness of my life, I could definitely still put together something decent and grind through it. So, but catches up to you now sooner or later, and I paid the price for it, and I got hurt, and that just kind of put me in like a bad spot because I was hurt, and then I was going back and forth to Orlando and not really focusing on running. And when I was over there, I wasn't running. They didn't really focus on rehabbing my leg, which I ended up having another hamstring issue, which I thought I nipped in the butt back last track season, like 2021. Ryan, you look like you want to say something.
No, I mean, I was gonna take a little bit different direction, but I feel like as me, I'm still young, but I think everyone thinks you graduate high school, you go to the school for college and you run track and you're gonna PR every year and life's great and like, and then you get there and you like don't like the coach, you don't like the school. Like I've talked to so many transfer kids this year and it's just like they've given me 100 different reasons why. And I just think a lot of people think, especially when I was trying to recruit seniors and like, oh, I'm going to this school, and I'm like, they don't even have a program, like they don't take the program seriously, but they're like, no, 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 like I train hard, like I'm gonna figure it out. And I just feel like, college track is just like probably the craziest, just up and down. You know what I mean? Like I've never
It's
heard.
crazy. It's crazy how high some programs can be and how low some programs can be, and you would never know because you look at a school. I'm not gonna name any
Yeah, I don't
names,
name
but
names,
you,
but
you
we
look
know.
you look at a school and you're like, damn, like this school is, it's a D1 program. They have to be good, and
Yeah.
or they're even. I mean, even then, like they're a D2 school. They have to be good. Some D1 schools don't even have men's programs. And a lot of D1 programs are cutting a lot of their men's funding, which is unfortunate, but it's happening. So
Yeah, and I mean, like even like I'll say him, like one of our best friends, Joseph, who was your running partner in high school, who loved running more than anything. He went to St. Thomas where I coached, and he kind of vouched for me to coach there, but I wasn't there when he was running there, and he ended up quitting. And honestly, he's one of the big reasons why I'm coaching college right now because I don't want kids to go through that again. He was so frustrated with not really just one coach or one person, but just the whole program in general.
yeah,
Um, and St. Thomas is not even that bad of a program. There's so many other schools that are just worse that, like you said, that the administration doesn't want the school to get funding or whatever the program to get
yeah.
funding. And I mean, was you've just your I was talking to Coach Josh about this. Even your college career, you've gotten hurt, relationship issues. I'm not gonna say
Just
disagreements.
personal life gets in the way of
Yeah,
things
personal
sometimes.
life. You had to adjust to the training. You have a really good coach, but even his training was different. It took you a while.
Yeah,
Um, and I just think there's so many like it's just so funny talking to seniors in high school and they just think it's gonna be
they
this.
don't know.
Yeah, and
They
it's
don't know.
like
There's so many different things that can happen, and it's kind of just like you get hit by a train as soon as you get there. I don't know any. I don't really think I know anybody that's ever gotten to college and been like, this is easy, because it's not. There's so many other things you have to adjust to. You're living by yourself most of the time. Um, you might not have access to nutrition options, like good nutrition options at school.
that you were iron deficient. That was one thing.
Yeah, I was my freshman year, I was iron deficient. Um, and speaking of which, I'm gonna get to that now. So I guess let me quick give the rest of the viewers a rundown of what happened. So um, long story short, I almost quit running back in November, December. Um, but I kind of took a step back and looked at everything and just kind of evaluated my life, and like it was just for no reason. If I didn't have running, I really would have been in an even worse spot. And at school, like I kind of took school a little too serious. I think you should take school serious, but not to the point where you're stressing out, not sleeping. And I wasn't going to sleep like at all. I was like staying up to like 3, 4 in the morning and would have to wake up to practice at 6:45. So it just wasn't, it's not a good mixture for like, especially coming off of an injury, a hamstring injury. So long story short, I evaluated all that and came to the conclusion that this is what I want to do. This is what um I can see myself taking like my talent far in this sport as long as I have it. And as long as I just focus up and do what I need to do, I can get there. But it's gonna take a lot. And when you haven't run in like 2 months, or you've only run a total of like 20 miles in 2 months, it's pretty hard to come back, not gonna lie. And that's kind of the boat that I was in. Not kind of, it was the boat that I was in. And well, I got injured again. Derailed my whole indoor season, and basically didn't really come back till end of indoor season. I ran a DMR leg and kind of wasted an indoor season, which was upsetting, but um I think everything happens for a reason. So it made me hungry for outdoor. Um and I didn't PR this year. I didn't get faster than I was last year. I just kind of maintained. I ran a few 151s, a few 152s, and a couple blowups. I really didn't have the base behind my uh you know like for fitness, and it really bit me in the ass, and I couldn't even run a good 1500. So um it was definitely a learning experience, and I needed to go through that because if I really want to take the rest of my college career serious, um I'm gonna have to take like training a lot more serious. And um I've definitely run uh a lot more than any summer I've ever run like previously. So definitely thankful that I've been able to keep my head up and just been able to keep in decent physical shape. I don't expect to like hit any of these runs out of the park and even get to any crazy high mileage, but by school I want to be set up to where it's an easy transition again, and the weather is going to be a lot better over there, and it's going to be a lot easier to run over there. So um but damn, I wanted to say something. What did you mention? What was the last thing you said?
Just ups and downs of a college athlete. Um,
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So I think another reason why I didn't perform that great this year, and I say not great, and it was consistent, but it was just average, kind of subpar, okay, good performances. Um, I was not eating that well, and it wasn't because of anything necessarily. It was because the cafeteria at my school is awful, and I wish I could broadcast this to like the president and like everybody at my school that how bad the cafeteria is at CSU, because it's terrible, and the food options are even like it's terrible. I wish I could pull up a picture right now. Like I wish we had Jamie from Joe Rogan's podcast so we could pull up pictures of just the food that they send in the chat. Like it's terrible. So the options aren't great, and um I was 138, like 138 to like 139 just throughout the whole outdoor season. And that's like I'm normally like I walk around at like 140, like 148, 150. As soon as I got back home, bro, like I get it. I wasn't like I took a week off when I got back, but I gained like 12 pounds or like 14 pounds. I weighed myself and I was 151, and I was feeling really good though. Um, so I don't know if I was deficient in anything, but I definitely was malnourished. So um eating is big, and I'm gonna work on that this year, and I'll have all that set up and everything. I'll have my own kitchen, and I'll be able to get groceries every week and cook and stuff. But um, yeah, I just wanted to mention that if you guys are, if any of you guys listening are in a tough spot, um, as far as like small schools have very bad cafeterias. Like, I actually heard St. Thomas is pretty decent, but for the most part, small schools have very bad cafeterias. So um, we don't have access to like fitness and or whatever they call like a dietary like coach. We don't have access to that, so it makes it that much more difficult. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot better running now. So that's just where I've been. And
Um,
yeah.
no, I was just say real quick. I mean, for me, it's a little different, but there was a point in the season where I was actually contemplating of quitting coaching just because one of my best athletes weren't PRing for for like the first half of the season, and he was probably my best athlete. And long story short, I told him I was going to quit, and he told me that he believed in me and I was going to figure it out. And I had other people, coaches, talk to me and like say, I believe in you, you can do this. And then I called Garrett and I was like, I don't think I can do this. And Garrett was like, oh, just got to figure it out. Like he made it so simple. But I think it's so important to have that circle of friends, family, whatever it is to like, if you have the right circle of people to help you out, like you can really get through anything, honestly. And if it wasn't for them, I love coaching more than anything, but there was a point during the season where I was like, I just can't do this. Like, it's just too much. I just had no confidence in myself. Um, and I was just like, I was like, I'm done. And the coaches were like, no, no, you're going to figure it out. You're going to finish to the season. And they're like, if you want to quit, you can wait until the end of this, like after the season ends, but you're not quitting in the middle of the year. And, um, I mean, I know you have it, but I don't know if other coaches, I mean, I guess other coaches go through it, but, I just think, I mean, I feel like the reason why you kept running is because you have still a good support system around you, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and I definitely think like a lot of my teammates at school that they kind of helped I mean they didn't know what was going on at the time while I wasn't running and everything. And um I definitely credit like a few of my teammates with getting me out of that slump and getting me, helping me like, come back and just getting back into the swing of things and not being awkward about it or weird or anything, because we all go through shit, and some go through more than others, but uh when I needed them, they were there for me. So big shout out to those guys, because I did not like any of them when I first got to CSU, and now I see them as family. So yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's
But
crazy. It's crazy. 'Cause I'm just thinking about it. First, you didn't like your teammates training, you iron deficiency, relationship. Like you had you've gone through every single thing probably possible. Not everything, but you've gone through a
I
lot.
hope I've gone through everything possible so I can finally cut out all the BS, to be honest.
Just run that fat PR. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Um,
I think my going forward now is just to stay consistent, uh get in the weight room, which I've been doing a little more frequently, uh just train. And I'm not even really worried about workouts. I feel like I never, like, I don't think I've ever worried about workouts in the fall. I mean in the summer, which it's not like it's kind of mandatory, but tempos are just kind of difficult to do over here. One, by yourself, but two, with the dew point and the humidity and everything, it's kind of impossible. So I'll just probably do a lot faster base runs, which I always do. I don't ever really run slow. Um, and yeah, I'll probably just do some progressions from here on out up until I get back to school, and then really get back into the swing of things. Hopefully, uh, knock out a nice little PR cross country season. Finally run like, where I should be at the very least like 25s, and just more so than time. I just want to be able to place well on the team and run consistently. So yeah, that's where I'm headed. Ryan, what about you?
St. Thomas this year. This is my first full year coaching college. I felt like last season was like a it just didn't count honestly. This year's like my first year where coaching men's women. I came in only being the men's distance coach. Now I'm the men's women coach and also coaching the 400, which never coached 400, but I'm excited. I actually like coaching mid distance or I guess long sprints because yeah, they don't like being called mid distance. Um,
Yeah.
AAU championship in a couple of weeks. A little bit of private training on the side. Hopefully continuing this podcast, but honestly, my main focus is just trying to give it my all this year in coaching. I was in school before and doing other stuff, but this year, like I can actually really focus on this year. And honestly, at the end of this year, we'll see what happens. But I'm just excited. There's some exciting recruits we got. Some guys I never thought I had a chance to work with, but I am. And I'm just excited, honestly. I've honestly, I mean, I think you did too, but we both took like mini vacations in a way. Like we just kind of had our fun. We went to Arizona
Yeah.
together. We needed that kind of like, yeah, we're still focused on what we're trying to do, but we just need like,
You got to have mini breaks in between.
yeah,
And as long as they don't get out of hand,
exactly.
you need it because mentally, the sport is very draining, as you can tell. So,
Um, we got less than a minute, so if you just want to wrap it up, honestly.
yeah, I mean, last couple of things I'll say is I'm actually looking forward to cross country season as much as I haven't said that very much in the past. I actually do look forward to, you know, being team oriented and doing whatever I can to help the team. Because I know if I can even contribute to the team, that'll put me in a lot better place than I was last year. And uh, God willingly, as long as I can stay healthy and be consistent and just keep training, I'm gonna be like I'm gonna be where I need to be. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say anything too crazy, but first things first, gotta take care of what's ahead of me, which is cross country season, and then we'll reevaluate after cross is over and take training in a different direction. But I'm excited to try um and really accomplish everything this year. So that's all I really have to say.
Yep. I'll end it that because Zoom's about to kick us off.
Yeah, okay. So well, all right, guys. It was good being back. Definitely will be seeing more of us in the near future. And this is a Distance Theory podcast. I'm Garrett Carter, my co-host Ryan Mazzozo, and we're out.